Unfortunately, there are a lot of immigration scams right now, and so it's a very good question to bring up. One, a lot of people don't know the difference between an attorney and what's called as a notario. Especially in Spanish-speaking countries, notarios over there are attorneys. But in the state of Texas, almost anybody can become a notario. And so we have people passing themselves off as attorneys when they're not. They go by names of notarios, like I mentioned, form preparers, or paralegals. But make sure you know that you are hiring an immigration lawyer. Don't go with somebody who is not a lawyer. We often get cases where we have to clean up and fix what other non lawyers have done. You can check your state bar website. The lawyer should be able to show you their law license. And if somebody, in fact, a client has asked me before if they could have my bar number, and I don't mind giving it at all. It's something that we're lawyers, we're proud to give that information. So be very careful whenever you're dealing with somebody to help you prepare immigration forms. Make sure that they are a lawyer. Other scams that we have seen is there's people that are acting as imposters. So I've seen videos where people dress up as immigration officials and they tell somebody that they can apply to become a resident. A lot of the times they're talking about special programs that don't even exist. And they've gotten really good at faking it to where they do it by video. There's a background, it looks official. They send you official looking documents, but they're not. And I've seen videos of people who think they just got a residency or just became a citizen, and it's really sad to have to tell them later that that was all false. It was fake. They were defrauded. They spent all that money and they didn't get anything. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you've already gone to trustworthy lawyers and they've told you that you're not eligible, be very cautious when somebody is promising something that sounds too good to be true. And then the last immigration scam that I wanted to talk about is fake VAWA applications. So there's been a trend going around where people say that you could file a VAWA case. So VAWA is an actual law. It's Violence Against Women's Act, and that protects women and men from domestic abuse when the abuser is a citizen or a resident, if it's their spouse, their children, or parents. And so there's been this growing scam where some immigration lawyers or non lawyers tell people to lie and to make up a story. Or they say that if your spouse or your child is rude to you, that that's enough. But these cases are very complex. They're very hard. You have to prove that you have been subject to extreme cruelty or battery, and it can include emotional abuse and emotional cruelty. It doesn't always have to be physical, but you have to show and prove that you were actually a victim and suffered to that. It's not as easy as just writing a letter and claiming abuse. Furthermore, immigration officials know about this, and as a result, they're scheduling almost every one of these cases for interviews to see if they were real cases or not. So be very careful. That's the same thing as when somebody promises something that's too good to be true. Be very careful. There are certain cases that qualify for this type of application, but it's going to be very limited. So be careful before you hire somebody. Another warning sign, these would be just more general warning signs, would be if people pressure you. So when you come to my office, we're going to talk about the case. I'm going to tell you exactly what I recommend. And we usually don't give any pressure or any timeline. We tell you this is what we recommend. This is what the costs and the fees will be. And if you want to hire us, then you're welcome to. And we tell you what the process would be. But a lot of these scams, they use high pressure. They tell you that the price is only good for that day. They tell you that if you don't do it immediately, you're going to be deported or at very grave risk. And they try to pressure you. They're calling people back constantly, trying to intimidate them to pay the money. And be very careful if somebody is trying to pressure you. There are times when the immigration judge ordered a deadline and you have to comply with that deadline. And so if the judge ordered you to turn in something and you're coming to us 1 week before, then there might be, we will tell you there is a deadline, but it's not us giving you that deadline, it's the judge. And so be very careful whenever somebody is trying to promise you too much that seems too good to be true, or if they're putting a lot of pressure to you. The last telltale sign would be sometimes some of these scammers, they are charging outrageous prices. And for the VAWA cases that I was talking about, we've seen people being charged $15,000, $20,000 or more. And I'm not saying that that won't always be a reasonable fee, but most of these cases, that is, in my opinion, too much to be charging. So, like I was mentioning, if it's too good to be true, if they're putting a lot of pressure on you to hire immediately, if they're not explaining things properly. I've had a lot of clients come to me, and once they finish their consultation, they tell me, wow, you really explained everything in detail, and I understand everything. The other attorney or the other person never told me any of that. And so that is the focus of a good immigration lawyer is we want to explain it to you so that you can really understand and you are going to make the decisions. We are just going to help you come to that best decision and give you our recommendations. But it really starts with teaching you what the law is and making sure you understand correctly. And that way you can come up with the best decision for your case and your family. And then we are going to be more than happy to help you achieve that goal or that aim that we're working towards.